Welcome back to Ticket Stub Reviews. Tonight I saw a thing with a ticket that's way too small for you to read. Mortal Instruments in 2D. Now, this is the first movie in the City of Bones books. I uh I watched it and I've never read any of the books. And no offense, the books probably won't read them because I don't have the time to get into something that long right now. I will say this movie, even though, let's be honest with ourselves, Mortal Instruments was probably funded around the time that Twilight was the shit. Uh, it I mean, it falls into the same, category of I think the kids will like this. It has paranormal shit and people trying to bang. That's what they like, right? Um, that's not to say that's anything wrong with the idea of City of Bones. Actually, I like Mortal Instruments because it has a wonderful blend of fantasy elements and real world reactions to how a normal person would react to this crazy stuff. There's very little shall we say, fudged writing to make the characters work a certain way. They react the way I think they would react, and the movie doesn't focus too long on the fantasy elements, but it also doesn't, it's not above giving you some eye candy once in a while. I'm not going to give any major spoilers in this review until later, and when I do, I'll give you an annotation to skip the spoiler. Uh, so, um, there's a bit about halfway through the movie where they have to rescue a person from a vampire lair. Uh, this leads to a giant fight in a old decrepit hotel ballroom, and I honestly that was the best vampire versus demon hunter esque thing I've seen since Buffy the Vampire Slayer was on air. It's been a while since we've had some good vampire fights that weren't like wire fighting or like it was people who are skilled because they're skilled and have like secret weapons that can do a lot of damage, kicking some ass. And I also like on that token the main character isn't Buffy. She doesn't magically have Slayer powers. She's good at what she does, but it's an inherent good. It's part of her. It's not your father, bam, now you're magically good. It's she works her way up to it. She's inherently good because of her bloodline, yes, but she works up to it. She earns the fact. The character doesn't just carte blanche have all these things. She also has emotion, something protagonists lack sometimes, especially in books like these where the protagonists, especially Bella, act as a sort of surrogate for the reader. In this one, the main character has emotions. Uh, Actually, I was gonna rant about something in the movie that's kind of spoilery, but honestly, I like this movie. There are some things in it that I can pick and make fun of left and right, but they don't have anything to do with the plot of the story. They just have to do with how the movie was made. Honestly, the problems I have with this movie, from the perspective of someone who's not read the book, my problems were things that the art directors did wrong, or things that the editor did wrong, or even things that the screenplay writer did wrong. I'm sure in a book it would have worked perfectly. But yeah, if you have an evening that you want to watch a movie, don't see anything on. If you like watching some evil undead shit get its ass kicked, uh, Mortal Instrument, City of Bones, Book One, Movie One, whatever. Not a bad way to spend your evening. I would suggest watching it in theaters unless there's something you're just dying to see. I will not compare this to any other movie because that's just not fair. But if you're in the mood, especially around Halloween, to see a movie where werewolves and vampires exist in the same universe, but they're not like intrinsically linked or anything like that. There are werewolves, there are vampires, there are demons. Go see this movie because evil stuff gets its ass kicked a lot, and there's a teeny tiny bit of star power in it. It's a fun movie. I very much suggest it. One of these days I'll see a movie I don't like, and then I'll be really pissed. But until that happens, I'm Gavin, and this is Ticket Stub Reviews. Have a movie you'd like to see and I might actually have it in a theater nearby? Post a comment. Might go check it out. I'm bored. It happens.